Your dog looked at you this morning, not the way it looks at the door when it wants to go outside. Different still, quiet, lasting a little too long. You probably looked back and moved on. Most people do, and that is a failure of translation, not of love. Because your dog has an entire language, a real language, consistent, documented its own, and almost none of it uses sound. The problem isn't that you're not paying attention, the problem is that you were raised to look at the wrong things. Stop answering the question they're not asking. In almost every home with a dog, something happens every single day. Your dog does something, choose the wrong thing, knocks something over, gets into the trash. You walk in, you see it, and without thinking, you freeze right where you are and lock your eyes on them. You think that look says, "I'm disappointed in you." Your dog's nervous system does not read it that way. In dog social behavior, a fixed, prolonged, direct stare is not a correction. It's a conflict signal, the exact signal a dominant animal uses right before things escalate. Alexandra Horowitz, a cognitive scientist at Barnard College who has spent over a decade researching canine cognition, has written extensively about how dogs process eye contact from humans and other dogs. The finding is uncomfortable. What makes you feel like authority often reads as threat to them. The freeze you see afterward, lowered head, tense body, eyes sliding toward you, that's not guilt. Guilt requires understanding that a rule was broken. What you're seeing is appeasement behavior. Your dog's body saying, "Please don't take this further. I'm not a threat. I want this to be over." A study by Horowitz published in 2009 in Behavioral Processes found that the guilty look in dogs appeared just as frequently in dogs that had done nothing wrong as long as the owner believed they had. That look is a response to you, not to the chewed shoe. Over time, a dog that can't predict which version of eye contact is safe can never fully relax around you. They start monitoring constantly. And a dog that's constantly watching can't be the dog that's trying to just be with you. The solution isn't about being softer or stricter, it's about being readable. Real communication is what actually matters. Redirect instead of looming over them. Use your voice to interrupt the behavior. Approach the situation calmly, not with pressure on the animal. Give your dog a version of you that their nervous system can actually map. Because that dog who stands easy beside you, who chooses the same room, who leans into you without calculating anything, that dog can only exist once they've decided you're safe. Let them finish what they're saying. Give them a moment. Your dog comes over to you. You're on the couch, half watching something, half thinking about tomorrow. They approach slowly, pressing their nose to your hand, maybe your forearm, maybe the side of your face, and you reach out and start petting them. It feels like connection. It seems like the right thing to do, but you just cut them off mid-sentence. Dogs assess the people they're bonded to through scent in far more detail than most owners realize. Mark Baykoff, a behavioral ecologist from the University of Colorado, has described a dog's ability to read scent as something closer to reading a detailed report than a simple sniff. Your body chemistry tells your dog things no expression ever could, whether your cortisol is elevated, whether something is physically off, whether the version of you they're seeing this morning is the same one they saw yesterday. That check-in isn't a search for affection. It's information gathering, something deliberate. And when you immediately turn it into a petting session, you change whose moment it is. Rocky does this almost every evening. If you haven't seen my earlier videos, Rocky is my one and only dog. He doesn't come when I call him, he comes when he decides to. He stands close, nose moving, not asking for anything. The first few times, I reached out right away. Then I started waiting, and what I noticed was this. When he actually really finished, the way he leaned into me afterward felt different, heavier, like something had been resolved. Try it once. Keep your hands still. Let them take as long as they need. Only after they pull back, look up, or pause with that sense of completion, then respond. What changes is not small. A dog that's allowed to finish its sentences starts forming more of them. But here's the part most people never think about. You prepare for the big changes in your own life. You know weeks in advance that a move is coming. You know a new schedule is starting, that someone is leaving, that the house is going to look different. You have time to mentally adjust. Your dog has none. One day the furniture is in one place. The next day it's somewhere completely different. One day someone they know is there, then they're not. Your dog has no framework to explain this change. No way to question it, no way of knowing whether what's gone is coming back. A 2019 study by researchers at Linköping University in Sweden measured cortisol levels in dogs during household disruptions moves, changes in family structure, disruptions to daily routines. The researchers found that stress responses were significantly more intense when changes arrived suddenly rather than gradually. Dogs didn't need the change prevented. They needed it introduced slowly. You can't explain a house move to your dog in words. But you can take them to the new place before you go. You can keep the feeding schedule consistent while everything else falls apart. You can pack their things last. You can make sure that even when the world is shifting, at least one part of the day still looks the same. Most owners do none of this instead because the dog seems fine, and the adjustment happens eventually. But the cost of that adjustment is real. Elevated stress hormones, disrupted sleep, withdrawal behaviors written off as moodiness. Your dog isn't waiting for you to freeze their life. They're waiting for you to notice that change isn't neutral for them, and to give them something stable to hold on to while it happens. Even one consistent thing is enough. When they say no, listen. Your dog is not a passive observer of what happens to them. They have a documented, consistent, and genuine language. A head that turns to the side. A lip lick that appears out of nowhere. A yawn at exactly the wrong moment. A body that tenses slightly when it should be softening. A gaze that slides sideways instead of holding steady. These aren't random. These are sentences. And often the people who love their dogs the most are the ones who ignore them the most. The child who wants to hug the dog. The dog with ears pinned back, body pulling away, tail gone still. And the owner saying, "Go ahead, he loves hugs." The grooming session where the dog signals discomfort at every turn and the owner keeps going, because it has to get done. The moment a stranger reaches over the dog's head and the owner smiles apologetically and doesn't step in. Every time this happens, your dog updates their understanding of how communication works between the two of you. Signal sent. Nothing changed. They either learned to stop sending the signal or to send it louder. A growl, a snap, a full withdrawal from situations they used to handle fine. Researchers from the University of Sao Paulo published a study in 2021 in Applied Animal Behavior Science. Dogs given more consistent autonomy over physical interactions, meaning dogs whose discomfort signals were noticed and respected, showed measurably lower anxiety indicators over time and initiated significantly more voluntary contact with their owners. Less control from you produced more trust in you. Less space taken up inside the relationship made the relationship closer. This isn't about letting your dog run the household. It's about understanding that a dog who trusts their no will be heard doesn't need to escalate, that they can send the earliest, softest signal and know it will land. This is not a managed dog. This is a dog that feels safe enough to tell you the truth, and a dog that tells you the truth early, before the growl, before the bite, is a dog you can actually help. Be the same person every day. Not perfect, not endlessly patient, not always available or energetic or on. Just recognizable. Your dog isn't expecting the best version of you. They're expecting the version they can predict. Research on dog stress and owner behavior, including studies reviewed in Frontiers in Veterinary Science in 2020, found that unpredictability in the primary owner is one of the strongest environmental predictors of chronic anxiety in pet dogs. Not harshness, not neglect. Inconsistency. An owner who is warm and engaged on weekends, scattered and short-tempered during the week. Someone who enforces a rule one day and ignores it the next. Who sometimes plays with real energy and sometimes has nothing left. For your dog, that variability isn't personality, it's noise. And a dog living inside that noise cannot fully relax because relaxing requires knowing what comes next. The dog you most want to see loose, calm, choosing to be near you without calculating anything only shows up when their nervous system decides it's safe to stop monitoring. And monitoring only stops when the person being monitored becomes consistent enough to trust. This doesn't mean performing a stability you don't feel. It means finding 2 or 3 things that anchor your dog's day: feeding time, the walk, the way you greet them when you come home, and keeping those in place even when your own day is hard. The rest can shift. Those shouldn't. Your dog has been building a model of you since the first week they came home. Every day they run that model, compare it to what they see, and update it. The question they're always trying to answer always is this: can I trust this person? Not, is this person exciting? Not, is this person always happy? Not, does this person know every technique and command? Just, can I trust them? That question has an answer, and you're giving it every day, whether you mean to or not. If something in this video stopped you a familiar moment, something you want to try differently, leave it in the comments. Not for the algorithm or to help the video get recommended, but because I'm genuinely curious which part resonated with you. These things are worth talking about. If you want to understand your own dog better and strengthen the bond between you, follow me. See you next time.